Let me bring to the stage Niyc Pidgeon. Yay, girl! You're so welcome.
Thank you. So I think it's safe to say that when you look at Bob, you see somebody who has got a strong mindset, a huge heart, a big vision, and a really long-term vision. He's done the work, and you guys are here to do that work here today as well. The hardest part is always showing up. Now, I'm standing here on this stage not as a network marketer, so probably a little bit different to a lot of the speakers that you see here this weekend. But I can safely say that if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, I would be doing what you guys are doing. I got a WhatsApp message last night from one of my best friends, and she is a global leader in one of the big network marketing companies. She's in Dallas right now at a big rally, their annual rally that they go to. And she sent me a message with a screenshot of the check that she'd just received. And she totaled up the amount of money that she'd made over the past few years, not including what she gets on a monthly basis, just these annual bonus checks. $922,000. Absolutely amazing. One of the things that's interesting about her is that in December of last year, so just 4 months ago, she was in Spain at her house where she lives, and she was in the pool playing around with her daughter. She got out of the pool, and her 13-year-old daughter thought it would be funny to push her back in. When she landed on the bottom of the swimming pool, she actually shattered her leg in 2 places. So for the past 4 months, she hasn't been able to walk. Now, what's been fantastic to see is that her network marketing business has actually sustained her throughout this period of not being able to show up and go to work. But what's also been interesting is the mindset and the strength of mind, the mental toughness that she's had to show to be able to show up and continue to coach her teams to build her business along the way. So I want to share with you today some tools, some tips, some strategies that you guys can use to help you think differently, to help you see differently, and to help you help your teams see differently too. How many of you know who this guy is on the screen? Elon Musk, awesome. So 5 years ago, I was lucky enough to be invited to jump onto a Google Hangout with Elon Musk and Sir Richard Branson. And I had the opportunity to ask a question. And I said, so I'm a positive psychologist. I would love to know, what is the most challenging thing that you have ever had to do in business? And I was actually really surprised because I thought this guy is a billionaire. He's going to give me this really black and white strategic business answer to this question. And what happened was really interesting. So he actually welled up with tears, and he started crying. Now, this was being live streamed all around the world. There was a production crew in front of me, and all of the production crew was standing like this. And I was staring straight down the lens, and I couldn't actually see what was going on because I was just looking down this camera, and I watched it back after. And what had actually happened was he recalled this story of when he was faced with making a decision of investing in SpaceX and Tesla, 2 huge companies that you now know. And he had the challenge of saying, I'm going to invest in one of these businesses or the other. And what he said to me was, these businesses were like my babies. And obviously, you don't want any of your children to starve. And I'm sure a lot of you feel like that about your businesses today. It's something that you've got this vested interest in. And you could see the emotion in his eyes as he told this story of having to sleep on his friend's couch because he invested everything that he had. He decided to go all in, to put all of the money that he had into both of the businesses, so he was left with nothing at all. And what I learned from this conversation was that business is an emotional journey. And even billionaires get scared. So if he's willing to be vulnerable, to say, listen, this was hard, this was challenging, know that you guys are going to find it hard and challenging. You're going to feel vulnerable as well. But know that you always have the opportunity to choose to do things a different way. When you adopt a different mindset, you have the ability to get different results. So I'm going to be sharing with you how you can actually master your mindset so that you can create anything that you want in your life and in your business. So what's important for you right now? You're going to discover why mindset is important. It's one of the things that I hear in network marketing so much. If you're having a hard day, or if you're not getting the results, if your business isn't growing, if your team aren't doing the work, just go away and work on your mindset. Just go away, just do some mindset work. And then I see everyone, but what do I actually need to do? So I'm going to tell you why mindset's important. I'm also going to tell you exactly what you can do practically to help you master yours. I'm going to be sharing with you 2 big mindset concepts, and I'm also going to be teaching you 3 steps that you can take to create unstoppable success, both within yourself and also within your businesses. I want you to make sure that you're taking notes, so can you all hold your notebooks in the air so I can see that you've got them ready? Fantastic, thank you. And I want you to have fun, guys. This journey is all about enjoying it, enjoying the process along the way. If it's not fun, for me, there's no point in doing it. If you get to age 65, you're ready to retire, and you feel like it's been a struggle, you feel like it's been a wasted journey, there really is no point. Success without happiness is not success at all. So this is if you're full of excuses, and you blame and complain. It's not for you if you're not willing to put in the work. There is going to be a little bit of work involved in this. And it's not for you if you desire to have the happiness and success. You desire to have the results, but you're not willing to put in the effort to get there. This is the commitment pyramid, and this shows what type of self-talk you have at different stages of your growth. Now, if you look at these different levels of the pyramid, you'll probably notice an area that you associate yourself with. And you might hear yourself saying, as you raise your awareness around the way that you speak to yourself, I have to go and do that prospecting today. I have to go and do that Facebook Live. And what that's doing is it's actually creating a feeling and a mindset of struggle inside of yourself. So I want you to choose from here on in, from today, moving forwards, to speak to yourself a different way. So when you have something to do, I want you to say to yourself, not just even I will do it, but I love to do it. I'm excited to do it. I can't wait to get to that training. I can't wait to be on that webinar. And when you start to consciously create the way that you speak, you'll start to see the way that you feel and the results that you get shift as well. So this is for you if you are ready to make this year your best year yet. This is for you if you are all in and you are ready to create some massive impact and some massive growth. This is for you if you know you're ready for more and you just need the mindset, the tools, and the right support to help you get there. It's for you if you are committed to taking action. If this is a yes for you, I want you to shout yes right now, guys. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so immersion versus action. What you are doing right now, you are sitting here in an immersive experience. You have the opportunity to be here for 3 days with amazing people surrounding you, learning from some of the best in the world at what they do. What can happen, though, is when you leave this weekend, you close your notepads, you go back into your normal life, is you can forget everything that you've learned. You can say, that was a great weekend. Wasn't it fantastic? Weren't all of the speakers great? And what happens for a while is that you have this increase in your activity. You have this increase in results. But eventually that plateaus, and it might even start to peter off. So what I want to teach you today is the daily actions that you can take, which are going to support this immersive experience today. It's the stuff that you do daily that matters the most. And these are the things, are the tools and the tips that are going to serve you well, not just for this weekend, not just for 2018, but for the rest of your life. Because this journey of entrepreneurship, your journey as an entrepreneur, as a network marketer, it's not just about what you do. It's not just about the results that you create. It's about who you become in the process. So I know you might be feeling one of these things, or your team might be feeling one of these things right now. There might be some self-doubt. There might be some questions around your ability to succeed. Can I actually do that? Is that possible for me? You might have this underlying fear of being judged, of what other people think, of being compared and comparing yourself. And you might see other people around you who are successful, who are out there killing it in business, and think to yourself, why isn't that me? Now, these are completely normal. The good news is that you can change things. You can do something different. It starts today, and it always starts with you. So I want you to understand that you have a choice to take responsibility for your own thoughts, your own actions, and the way that you show up. I want to show you guys what's possible, and what's possible in a very short space of time. So as you can probably tell by the accent, I am not from here in the States. I'm from a small city in Newcastle upon Tyne. And I started my journey in entrepreneurship probably about 6 years ago, and I really, really struggled. So I struggled with my mindset, I struggled with making money, and it seemed like a challenge every single day. Since then, I've gone on to build a $1 million business. I have more than 10 programs in the business, so I coach entrepreneurs to be happier and be more successful. We launched this program called Up Level Forever, which coached 5,000 network marketers to create success within themselves and their businesses. I won Young Entrepreneur of the Year in the UK. I also won that second award, the Little Star Award, which was a Breakthrough Barriers Award, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. I've written a book which shares all of the tools that I'm teaching you today and so much more. That's now a best-selling book, so it's about positive psychology and how you can create happiness and success. And last week we found out that we've actually won Psychology Book of the Year. So fantastic things. Thank you so much. Thank you. Then this guy, Richard Branson. So later on this year, I'm going on safari with Richard, and I've been invited to spend a week on Necker Island next year as part of the first ever women's entrepreneurship retreat there. So I share these things, not just to show you all of the awesome stuff that can be created, but I want to show you the polarization between where I was before, where I am now, and what I actually did differently in between to create all of this success. So my academic qualifications, I am a positive psychologist. I have 3 degrees in psychology, and that is very much my passion. I look at what you can do to be happier, to be more whole, to be more fulfilled in your life and your business. But so much more than that. It's not just about the qualifications. It's because I've got this real life experience as well. So I've personally coached and mentored more than 5,000 network marketers. I've overcome huge personal challenge in my own life. I've built this business. I've invested more than $200,000 on my own development. So I'm not just teaching you this stuff from a place of reading it out of a textbook. I'm teaching it because I've actually done the work as well. So what is positive psychology? Who knows already? Who's had some sort of experience with Pos Psych? A few of you in the room, okay, awesome. So positive psychology is the science of happiness. It's the science of optimal functioning and how we can be better in business, within ourselves, and within the communities and organizations that we run. For me, and I know I'm a bit biased, but for me, positive psychology really is the umbrella under which everything else exists. So if you think about pos psych and your mindset work like this, almost like this buffer or this barrier to all of the negative things and the experiences that you create and realize in your world, it's the stuff that actually helps you to be more successful, to have better relationships, to really go about and enjoy your life without that struggle harming you or distracting and detracting from your success on a daily basis. The thing about life and the thing about business is that your conditions are not always going to be ideal. Now, when I talk about overcoming personal challenge, I want to share with you what that actually means for me. So in your life, you are all going to experience something that is hard, that is completely normal. And I say in my book, whether it's a natural disaster or a daily disaster, you all have the power to make a change. In 2014, I had what I remember now to be the worst year of my life. It all started with cutting my eye open with a contact lens, and I got a flesh-eating bug in my eye that can make you go blind in a week. Now, when I reflect on this experience, it really was the start of me having this awakening that allowed me to really start to see what was going on and what was going wrong, and how I wasn't living in an authentic way. I'd been pushing my business like I was pushing it up a hill. I was working so hard every day to try and get results, and it didn't seem like anything was really working, or the fruits of my labor weren't really being found at that time. My dad went in for triple heart bypass and heart valve replacement. I was diagnosed with adrenal fatigue and exhaustion. I'd put on 2 stone in weight, and I felt like a fraud as a positive psychologist that didn't feel positive inside. I then started having hallucinations and flashbacks, and I remembered a time where I was on the way to the airport on holiday in Spain, and I was locked in a taxi and I was raped. From that point onwards in 2014, I went through 10 months of intensive counseling. I worked on my mindset, I put these tools into work, and I completely transformed my life. Since then, I have created success on the outside, but I've also created success within myself as well. And the reason that I share this with you is because I now know that these tools, positive psychology, the work on your mindset, works not only when you feel good and you want to feel better, but it works when you really don't feel good at all. So no matter what you are struggling with right now, whether it's something that is a challenge, a struggle, or if it's something that's a little bit deeper than that, maybe it's a past trauma or a really deep-rooted limiting belief that you feel is getting on top of you, please know that you have the power to change this. Your conditions are not always going to be ideal. This was me using a suitcase as a desk. This was 3 years ago when I'd left the UK, I'd launched my online coaching business, and I had a grand total of 1 client sign up to a group coaching program. Now, 1 client in a group isn't really a group at all. So what I did was I got to work, I put the tools that I knew to work again, and I managed to create a massively different level of success. Whilst I didn't have an office or I didn't have a desk, I managed to actually create my first $100,000 from this suitcase. So I use this as a call center, and you might have heard Zig Ziglar say, you can predict your level of success by the size of your phone bill. Right around this time, I had a huge phone bill, but I also had a great level of success. So when we talk about positive psychology, one of the major frameworks that we work with is the PERMA criteria. So P-E-R-M-A. And what this does is it outlines what you need in your life, in your business, in your community, or your organization to create psychological flourishing. So this is the state and place where you are able to realize more opportunities, you feel better more of the time, and you are known to be thriving. So you need positive emotions. You need engagement, so you need to be interested in the work that you do. You need positive relationships that are supporting and that you support others within. You need meaning, so you need that why reason, your purpose, why it is that you do what you do. And you need to have that sense of accomplishment, that sense of growth, that feeling that as you are moving forwards in your life, you are actually growing as a person and creating a different level of progress. So mindset is made up of these 4 things. It's made up of your beliefs, your thoughts, your attitude, and your perspective. And I loved watching Simon's talk last night. I popped down to get a feel of what's going on here, to meet a few of you guys. And he was talking about attitude, action, and accountability. So really, that is your mindset work. It's putting this stuff into action. It's thinking about what those core beliefs are that you feel inside you are either supporting you or limiting you. The stuff that you understand to be true based on the way that you've grown up or your conditioning, your past experiences. The thoughts that you have every day, the way that you talk to yourself, and the way that you show up. As entrepreneurs and leaders, you guys have a huge responsibility as role models. Now, whether that means being a role model to your team, or it means being a role model to your future children, please know that people are watching you. And the way that you show up and the attitude that you have not only has an impact on the way you feel and the way you work, but the way that other people choose to do things as well. And then you have perspective. So how can you choose to see things a different way? I'm guessing that in this weekend, you're going to have the opportunity to start to change your perspective on a lot of different things. And as you raise your awareness, you'll start to have a richer and deeper experience of the world we live in. So why is mindset actually important? Happier people make more money. Happier people reach their goals faster. Happier people tend to invest in themselves more, so they grow more quickly. Happier people build better relationships. They're able to navigate the challenges of life so much more easily. And every phase of growth requires a different mindset. So I hate to break it to you, but when you get over that first hurdle, it's not going to be smooth sailing all of the way. There's going to be another challenge, and then there's going to be another challenge, and then there's going to be another one too. One of the things that I thought was, when you start making money and you start finding that level of success, everything's going to be easier. But you guys need to do the work, and you need to do the daily work, because life is going to throw curveballs at you all of the time. Whether it's building a team, having a family, moving house, or navigating a divorce, all of this stuff comes up, and you have to have the strength within yourself and within your mind to be able to do things a better way. It's like building a foundation for a house. If that bottom part is unstable and unsteady, when those curveballs come flying at you, you're going to get knocked off course. And you don't have time to get knocked off course. The time is now. You guys have got such an opportunity as network marketers to really build yourselves, to create something amazing for yourself right now. Mindset multiplied by activity equals results. If you don't have the mindset in place and you are frantically doing the activity, it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're not going to get the results. I want you just to imagine that you are sitting in the driving seat of this car, or of your favorite dream car that you can imagine. Understand that in your network marketing business, your business is actually the vehicle for your success. Your business is taking you to where you want to be. But on that windscreen that you see in front of you, you notice a lot of dirt, a lot of muck, and you can't really see the road ahead. Now, that dirt on your windscreen is your limiting beliefs. It's the guilt. It's the negative thoughts. It's the negative emotions that have built up over so many years of you trying your best, of making things work, your windscreen wipers are your daily mindset work that allow you to really see. So without those windscreen wipers, without the mindset work, you're driving along in your car, and your ideal clients, your prospects, are passing you by. You can't see the opportunities that are available to you. You don't know what's out there waiting for you because your vision is so clouded. So remember in the morning when you're tired and you don't want to do your mindset work and you think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later on. You are the driver in your life. Your business is your vehicle that's getting you to where you want to go. You have a responsibility to do your mindset work so the road ahead becomes clear. Everybody seems shocked when I tell them that only 10% of their happiness is circumstantial. So the traffic doesn't make you unhappy. Your husband or your wife doesn't make you happy. You're actually the person that's in control of the way that you feel. 40% of the way that you feel is down to the stuff that you do intentionally. And that's the percentage that we work with as positive psychologists. We aim to get you into a peak state. We aim to get you into this high level, high vibration, energized, positive emotional state so that you can be, do, create, and have so much more. So if you look at this scale of emotions, you'll notice that right at the bottom, you've got guilt. So you have those low-level emotions that you'll know when you feel a negative emotion. You feel low. You feel like you can't think straight. You feel like everything is a challenge. And you feel like you can't see that way ahead. As you move up through this emotional scale, the frequency of the emotion increases. So from negative to positive, there's a different energy level that's surrounded by that. And you'll notice when you are surrounded by someone that's happy and vibrant and energized, it rubs off on you too. When you're up at this top tier of positive emotions, when you're in love, gratitude, joy, excitement, curiosity, your mindset's actually so much more open. You're in a different cognitive state and your brain is ready for the intake of information. When you're in that positive emotional state, you're able to see opportunities, build relationships, reach your goals so much faster. So that's where I want you guys to be operating from when you're running your businesses. So consider what it is for you that makes you feel good. Write a list of 5 to 10 things and decide to do more of the things on that list every week of your life. And know that it'll serve not just your happiness, but also the growth of your business as well. The second thing that you need to know when it comes to mindset is that you have a choice which perspective to take. Now, in positive psychology, we talk about 2 different types of mindset. You have the fixed mindset and you have the growth mindset. The fixed mindset, the easiest way to identify when you feel like this, is when you notice yourself being defensive over something. So somebody gives you a piece of constructive criticism, and immediately your walls go up. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. Somebody else did that. It wasn't my fault. That defensiveness is you slipping into a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset focuses only on the goal. So we talk about contribution. We talk about legacy. We talk about impact. We talk about making a difference in the world. That's the process. And focusing on the process is associated with a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. Now, your growth mindset is very much more about understanding the depth of learning that you can get from your experience. It takes those challenges that you experience in your life and your business, and it turns them into something that can actually serve your growth moving forwards. So I invite you to look at the way that you are talking about something that's hard right now or something that's been hard in your past. And you start to uncover what the learning and the lesson was in that experience for you. When I teach network marketers mindset, this is one of the lessons that again and again and again, they say, Nick, that was my favorite thing that you taught us. Because it's not just applied here today in this seminar, but you can literally start to look at your life a different way. So if you remember one thing from today, make sure growth mindset is it. I want to teach you 3 things that you can do to create unstoppable success within yourselves and within your businesses. So the first thing is to overcome your fears, because the fears are the things that are holding you back, whether you decide to acknowledge them or not. So the things that come up when I coach network marketers are that they are scared that there's not enough money, or they're scared that there's not enough abundance. They're scared of this scarcity that surrounds us. There's more than 1 billion people on Facebook, guys. There's definitely enough people out there. And if Bob had this scarcity mindset when he was doing his periscopes and he was showing up live for 6 months without getting paid $1, do you think he would have been able to create the value that he ended up creating? What you guys need to know is that when you focus on the long term, you understand that there's so much that's possible for you. When you feel like you're getting trapped in that short-term, small-minded thinking, remind yourself of your vision. Remind yourself of what it is that you're here to create, the impact that you have the potential to make on our world. Social comparison, so comparing yourself to somebody else. How does he have it? Or why are they doing it differently from me? Fear of being visible. So putting that post on Facebook, all of these things are fears that come up for network marketers. And that feeling that you are not good enough. Now, I can tell you this over and over and over and over again. But what's going to make the difference is you guys telling yourself this. So you can challenge and change this stuff. I want you to reflect on a time where you have been successful, either in your network marketing business or somewhere else in your life. Remind yourself of a time where you felt really proud, really energized, and use that as an experience that you can call on to bring that feeling into yourself again, to give yourself that sense of renewed motivation and allow yourself to take the next positive step forwards. Think about who it is that supports you. So who have you got in your corner that is cheering you on? Just make a note of 3 people right now. And choose to spend more time investing in those relationships. That person that says, I know you can do this. I know you've got this. I believe in you. It doesn't take a lot to find that belief in yourself when somebody else you respect and look up to is telling you that. Now, maybe it's an upline, maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a parent or a friend. It doesn't matter who it is, but remember who they are. Surround yourself with the people that make you feel better and are going to lift you higher. Remember that you can borrow self-belief from someone. You don't always have to have it in yourself. But if you look at somebody else that's confident, look at somebody else that is doing what you want to do, and say, if I can do that, if they can do that, then I can do it too. And thinking about your limiting beliefs, I want you to just write down something that you feel is challenging you right now in terms of the way that you speak to yourself. What is a fear that you have right now? What is something that you're ready to let go of? So maybe it's a belief, maybe it's a thought, maybe it's a feeling. Maybe it's a behavior. Maybe it's that feeling of, I don't feel worthy. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Just write down what that feeling or that fear is right now. Because putting your attention on it is actually the first step to letting it go. I say name it, claim it, and choose to move through it. So first of all, stare the fear in the face. Decide that you're going to acknowledge it. Because by ignoring it, you're actually making it stronger. So acknowledge the fear, acknowledge the struggle, acknowledge what it is that you're scared of. Own that fear, and then choose to make the decision to do something differently with it. So when you work on your self-belief, it's that foundation of your house. It's the thing that you can build everything else on top of. It allows you to take action from a more present-centered place, and it allows you to fuel your growth. Taking that limited belief or that feeling or that fear that you've just written down, and I want you to create a positive counterpart. So I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy becomes I am always more than good enough. And this is something that you can use every day in your mindset practice, in your morning ritual, to help you support your self-talk and to help you start to think differently and carry yourself differently through your day. So think about what that positive counterpart is to that fear. Write it down, and I want you to use it every single morning. I want you to write it out for a full page, and I want you to speak it out loud. So the word abracadabra actually means I create what I speak. So the things that you speak and the things that you speak into existence are what you'll bring into your reality. So start to talk a different way. Start to talk about what you do want rather than what you don't want. Start to have conversations with people that are about vision, that are about ideas, that are about goals. Start to welcome in your best possible self and your best possible life. I want you to all stand up for a minute. Pop your pens and your notepads on the table, and just put one hand or both hands on your heart and close your eyes for me. I want you to imagine yourself in the future, 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 30 years from now, when everything has gone as well as it possibly could. Look around you where you are as your best possible self. What country are you in? What environment are you in? What things do you own or use? Who are you surrounded by as your best possible self? How does it look? And how do you feel? What sounds can you hear when you're living life as your best possible self? What are you wearing? How does your hair look? And how do you feel? What are you doing as your best possible self? What work are you doing? What experiences are you having? And who do you have around you? How do you feel? What sounds can you hear? What smells can you smell? What emotions and feelings do you have inside of you? Where are you? What are you doing? And how do you feel? Opening up your eyes, and you can take a seat again, guys. I want you to know that you can tap into this feeling, this vision for your best possible self at any time. Now, this is actually a proven positive psychology intervention. You can take 20 minutes later on tonight to sit down and to write about what came up for you in that vision. And it's proven in the science of positive psychology to increase your levels of hope and optimism and help you reach those goals so much more quickly. How much money do you want to make a month? Get clear on that. Write it down and make it real. When you actually get clear and you get clarity and you get certainty and you get specific about what it is you want to create, you're much more easily able to walk the path ahead of you. So consider from this moment in time, you have two choices. You can take path B, or you can take path A. Taking path B is doing things the way that you've already done them, the way that you've always done them to this point. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Or you can choose to take path A, to raise your game, to choose your A game. From here on in, from this day forwards, to choose to live a better way. One of the ways that you guys can choose to live differently, to do differently, and to really put these tools and teachings into work is by setting up your day in the best possible way. And that starts with a morning ritual. Now, I teach a 7-part ritual, and that's in my book. But what I want to do is make this as easy as possible for you to integrate into your life. Because I realize not everybody has an hour to spend on their morning ritual. Some of you have kids, some of you have dogs, some of you want to get straight into your work, but I urge you, from this day forwards, give yourself 10 minutes at the very start of your day and practice this ritual consistently. Begin with gratitude. So put yourself in a grateful place. We know from the science of positive psychology that grateful people are able to feel more happiness and fulfillment. They're able to enjoy their lives so much more. And they're also able to create more of what they want because they know what it feels like inside to already have it. So every morning when you wake up, I want you to take a notepad and I want you to write out a page of things that you're grateful for. I call this the gratitude rampage. And it can be absolutely anything. It could be your health, it could be your family, it could be your business, it could be the chair that you're sitting on, or the comfy bed. There's so much to be grateful for. I then want you to practice meditation. And this can just be 5 minutes. Now, I used to try and meditate. I've always been a busy person. And I remember sitting on the edge of my bed and thinking to myself, right, okay, go. Think nothing. And what happens when you try and think nothing is that a million different thoughts come in. So what I encourage you to do is listen to a guided meditation. I've got loads of free ones on my website, loads of free ones on SoundCloud, and there's a million on YouTube as well. So find somebody's voice that resonates with you. Some of them might feel a bit weird to you. Find something that you like to listen to, and just start with 5 minutes a day. It's going to give you so much more clarity. It's going to give you a better sense of presence. It's going to allow you to find that belief within yourself. And it might not feel easy at first, but know that when you practice this consistently, the way that you feel will change. The way that you'll notice this is when you've started to practice a morning ritual and then you skip a day. And I get messages all the time saying, Nick, I feel awful. I forgot to do my ritual this morning, and life just has been a mess for the day. So practice this consistently. Give it a go for the next month. Thank, connect, and then move at the end. So move your body in some way. Physical activity is proven to increase your well-being, and it also increases your level of productivity. Your brain is more productive, 31% more productive at positive than it is at negative or neutral. So practicing thank, connect, and move is going to get you up into that peak state. It's going to allow you to experience more positive emotions. It's going to allow you to build a thriving life, business, and team. It's going to allow you to see the opportunities without them passing you by. And it's going to allow you to create and reach those goals so much faster. I want you to remember that your conditions are not always going to be ideal. You're going to have challenges. There's going to be traffic. There's going to be traumas. In network marketing, this is a quote that I absolutely love. In network marketing, you'll think the reward is money, but the freedom will far outweigh the money. And in the end, it will all be about the lives you change. Whether that's your life, your family's life, or the lives of hundreds and thousands of other people that you have the opportunity to influence. You have a responsibility right now to start to do things a different way. It always starts with you. We're in a time of fear. We're in a time where there's a lot of global challenges. There's a lot of conflict in our world. And the way that I see it is that entrepreneurs have this responsibility to stand up, to be the strength, to be the force, to have a voice, to give people hope, to give people an opportunity so that they can live with the freedom that I know that you guys all want here today. In our world, you really have only one choice. You have one life, and it's yours to choose. Success and happiness is completely possible for you. And if you don't choose this path, if you don't choose to stand up, to do the work, to make a difference, to change the way that you feel, somebody else will. There's plenty of people out there who will do the work, so why not you? Success is available to you. It's possible for you. It's meant for you. And it's here this weekend and right here, right now for you. Remember, guys, that you have the choice. You have the opportunity to make a change. It starts by working on yourself, and it starts with taking the daily steps, the daily action, and making the choice to live and be a different way. If you ever need a reminder, remind yourself of that car, that you are the driver in your life and business, and now is your chance to make a change. Thank you so much, guys.